Hey guys, it's Charlene. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make some really fun mini shaped cards using your dies. So I'm going to be using the Lookin Shark Elements clear stamps and dies, as well as the Quick Strips dies and this really pretty Under the Sea paper pack. So let's get started. So I'm starting out here with a couple of the images. I'm going to make two mini cards today. And the technique I'm going to show you on how to use your dies is really fun. You're going to be able to get so much use out of this. And you can use it for larger size cards too. So I'm stamping out this piece of battered wood. It kind of looks like maybe a piece of wood you would find from a sunken ship or something like that. And then the little fish and some bubbles. I did go ahead and color them off camera with my alcohol markers, and I will link down below to all of the colors if you're interested in seeing what I used. So I always double stamp, well, not always, but most of the time I will stamp again once I am all done with my coloring. And in this case, I'm actually going to go ahead and stamp, and then I'm going to clear heat emboss. You also could do clear embossing ink and then use black embossing powder, whatever you want to do here. But any of those ways is really going to make your stamps stand out on the page. It just adds that extra little bit of I don't know, it makes them look really nice. And so I definitely recommend trying that. So I've used some clear embossing powder here, and I'm just heating up the whole thing with my heat gun. And especially with this piece of wood, you can just see you add that little bit of shine from the clear embossing powder, and it creates this extra level, this extra layer of dimension on your card. It's really fun. So once I have that all done, I'm going to go ahead and use that coordinating die set to cut out the pieces, and then I'm going to show you how to make the shaped card base. It's so easy to do. So I'll cut these out, and now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take a piece of cardstock and I'm going to score it in the middle, fold it over just like you would do with a regular card base, and then I'm going to make sure I get a nice crease on my fold line there. So I'm using my bone folder, and then I'm going to take the large shaped die, and I'm going to, where I want the crease to be, I'm going to put that on the fold line at the top, but I'm going to put it just above it so that when I run this through my die cut machine, it's not going to cut there. It's going to leave that fold line, and then I'm going to have a shaped card. So here you can see I went through my die cutting machine. I'm going to pull it apart here pretty slowly. The tape does tend to stick a little bit more than usual because you do have two layers of cardstock that your die is trying to cut through. And then you can see here, you open it up and you have this perfect little shaped card. It's great. Now I can pop up my little piece of wood with some foam squares. This is obviously optional, but I want to inset the fish in the middle, so I wanted it to have a little bit of extra dimension. You could also use foam tape here, or you could use craft sheets, the craft foam sheets, whatever you have. So I'm going to get these all on there and then go ahead and remove the release paper and put it onto my shaped card. Now, like I mentioned, you can use your dies to do this, the small dies from your stamp sets to make these styles of mini cards like I'm doing today, or you could use large dies to create the same effect. So if you have a frame that you really like, you can use that to create a shaped card the shape of your frame. And if you look over on my Instagram, you can see that I did that recently with a really cool mini slimline notched frame die that I had. I made a shaker card and I made it shaped. It looks really awesome. So I had originally decided to color the little inset piece with Copic markers, and I've just gone in and glued it in with some liquid adhesive on the center there, and then I put my fish in the center and added the bubbles to the top left. Now I do change my mind, so you're going to see here in a minute I'm actually going to pull the fish back off and then put another piece in there. But let's just continue on for right now so you can get the sense of how to put this together. So I just added a little foam square to the back of my cute little fishy, I love these little fish. The expressions that they have on their faces are so funny. It's a very funny set. And this set actually coordinates with another set called the Lookin Shark set, and that has sharks in it. So you could use this set as a standalone to make cards, but you also, if you wanted to have more options, there's a second set that also goes with it with those sharks, which are really fun. And this is a previously released set. This isn't anything new, but I wanted to make these little mini cards. I thought they would be so cute. You could see there I'm coming in and I'm going to stamp the sentiment from the set, and there's some really cute sentiments in this set. This one says way too fin-ish, like a fin on a fish. I think it's pretty cute, and I'm going to cut that out with one of the quick strip dies. I love these dies. They are so perfect for sentiments. You can use them. I use them frequently on my cards for cutting out sentiments. I like them a lot. So I'm going to pop this up with foam tape or foam squares as well, so I can add another layer of dimension. And again, these are kind of thin. They're not super thick foam tape squares, so you can get away with adding, one layer to one, or adding a layer of foam squares to one piece and then putting more foam squares on another piece that you're going to pop up on top of that, and you still won't have any problem fitting it into an envelope. At least I haven't had any problems with that. So I'm going to get that centered down there at the bottom, and this card is so cute. But again, I'm going to go ahead and change out that background because I just realized when I was done that I had this really fun under the sea pattern paper, and I was like, oh my gosh, that would be perfect. I don't know why I didn't think of it. So I'm just trying to decide where I want to cut from on this sheet. There are several different designs in this Slimline paper pack. It's a really fun one, and those backgrounds are awesome because they save you so much time. If you're making a card, you can have this beautiful pattern paper background that looks like an ocean scene, and then just focus more on all of your elements that you want to put onto your card. Once I pulled that fish up, I went ahead and peeled off the foam square. You can see it damaged the paper underneath, but I'm not worried because I am going to cover that up. So I'm going to pop that in there once I put some liquid glue. You can see I just wanted to make sure I was making a good choice there before I went ahead and added the glue to it. But I like it. I think it looks really cute when it's done. So I'm going to pop that in there and set it inside and push down so that it adheres with that liquid adhesive. And then I can put a new piece of foam tape of the foam squares on the back of the fishy and pop him up on in the center there. So I've got this little weeding tool. You guys, you could use a craft knife for this as well, or if you have like a jewel picker or something like that. Just some kind of small pointy tool is really helpful to have around in your craft space. I use it literally on every single card I make. Like, it is right next to me. I keep a little caddy of tools that I use all the time, and that's in there. That's right next to my scissors and my bone folder and my reverse tweezers. Those are things that I use on every single card. So I've got that on there. I'm going to pop him in there, and there is my first cute little mini card. Oh, I love it. It looks so cute. I was saying this would look really cute on a present. You could put it as a little card on a present, or if you just want to put a little note, on a coworker's desk or something like that to brighten their day. This size is perfect for that. So now for my second card, I'm going ahead and stamping out this window element and the other fish. His little face, oh my gosh, every time I see it, it cracks me up. He's just a funny little fish. So I went ahead and colored again everything with alcohol ink markers off screen, and then I am coming back in and I'm doing a second stamping. This time I'm not heat embossing or anything. I am just stamping a second time with black alcohol marker friendly ink, and it's just makes it pop. Those lines, for whatever reason, when you do the alcohol ink coloring, it kind of dulls your black ink a a little bit, and if you restamp when you're done, it really adds that vibrancy back to it. So I'm going to go ahead and cut everything out with the coordinating dies. Again, same kind of thing. I'm coming in here with a piece of cardstock and my Scor-Buddy, and I'm just scoring it down the middle. Gonna get a nice crisp edge there where my fold line is, and then I'm going to go ahead, and you can see the little latches that are on either side of the window. That's where I am going to put my fold. So my die, I set it just slightly above that, so now there's my hinge. It creates that hinge on the card so that you could have a shaped card. Now I did color in the background on this one as well with alcohol ink markers, that little inset piece there, and I just have it in there like that so that I could get my sentiment stamped on there and make sure it was nice and straight in relation to the rest of the card. So I'm stamping that again with some black ink here, and it's another really cute little sentiment, you know, just keep swimming. And then you have that funny little fish with his silly face. That makes me laugh. And I'm going to turn this into a little mini shaker, which is so fun. I did this recently on another card that I made, and I actually used a craft knife to cut out the center of one of my stamped images to create a shaker element for my card, but it's definitely a lot easier if you have another die that insets to your outer die so that you can cut it out and make your stamp into a shaker element. So I've put some foam tape on here to pop this up so that I can have some space to put in some confetti for my little shaker. And now I'm going to go ahead and glue that center piece onto the card base, the little mini card base that we created. And I'm using some liquid adhesive here so that I can kind of move it around as I need to, because I want to make sure it is centered and lined up underneath the top piece that's popped up with the foam tape. So I did that, and then I'm coming in here and I'm putting my confetti down that I want to put inside the little shaker piece. You can use as much or as little as you want. You just want to try and make sure that you're not going to have your words covered up when the card is in the upright position. So just keep that in mind when you're doing this. So once I get that done, I'm going to go ahead and remove the release paper from my foam tape here, and I'm going to set it over the top of the card base, and just making sure again to line things up so that way it goes around all the confetti. So fun. And then I'm going to glue my funny little fish up over here on the top right. Now, like I showed you, I did not use embossing powder when I stamped this time. And the reason I didn't do that is because I wanted to add glossy accents around on the tops of all of those little pieces, all of those little bolts there. I think it looks really cute. All right, guys, here are my finished cards for the day. I hope you like them. They are so cute. I hope you find some time to get crafty today. I really enjoyed making these. Please be sure to like and subscribe, as well as hit that notification bell so that I can continue bringing you crafty content in the future. Until next time, happy crafting.